I'm Carolyn Hancock, and this is Letters from Japan. I'll take a little sidebar here to say I've been asked what are my favorite memories of our time in Japan. And well, you might think it would be all of the trips, the travel, the beautiful things that we saw. But without question, it is my time spent with my girls. The people, the ladies, the girls who came to our home to learn to speak conversational English with an English speaking person and to be in their home to see their customs, their traditions. And you'll hear a lot more about that in a prior episode, number 28. So I hope you'll go back and listen to that one. The second memory might be my first shopping trip for groceries when I bought so many things and then it was, how would I get them home? That was in a former episode as well. And the number three memory is undoubtedly the one I'm going to cover in today's episode, our trip to see Mount Fuji. It's a long episode, and so I'm going to break it up into 2, 3, maybe 4 episodes. The story was written by Bill, and his language, his way of writing is quite different from mine, but it'll be in my voice, something that's a lot of fun and not so easy as it turned out to be. But I'll start with this one statement that I wrote on Friday, April 21, 1995, after coming to terms with how lucky I had been. I missed the gas incident on the Yokohama trains by 20 minutes. At 11 o'clock that morning, I decided to go to Tokyo. I decided to ride my scooter to Yamate Station, take a JR Lines train, whose next stops are Ishikawacho, Kanai, and Yokohama stations. At Yokohama Station, I walked through the station to change to another train line to Tokyo, although never again, as it took twice as long as the JR line. I boarded at 12:20. The sarin gas attack was at those 3 stations about 12:45. So even though my shopping trip was a total failure, I guess I was lucky. We've gotten the news about the Oklahoma bombing on CNN. It's hard to understand the destruction and hatred in some people's hearts. Japan, popularized as a safe place to live, crime-free. Yet we have the gas attack. Well, on to something better. On Tuesday, April 25, 1995. And Bill is writing this. I'm just repeating it. We took a big scooter trip to Fuji-san this past weekend. It's only about 60 kilometers from Yokohama as the crow flies. But if the crow has to ride a motor scooter, it's closer to 100 kilometers. Saturday morning, we dropped Debbie off at the dog hotel, Kennel, and loaded up to get out of town. We dropped Carolyn's old scooter, the red one, off at Yamate train station, just in case we need to get home by train. We started out of town to the north. Rain began to fall before we reached the city limits. We stopped at a motor scooter shop and bought a cargo net and got a big plastic bag to cover our backpack, tied on the luggage rack. We got our gear all squared away and suited up with our new rain suits, and off we go again. It keeps up a pretty good rain all the way to our destination. Traffic was heavy and the roads were slick, but we made decent time. Stopped once to get a cold drink and rest a minute. We reached the mountains about 11:30 a.m. The 125cc Yamaha just don't have the power to do much, carrying double and climbing steep hills. We saw some beautiful scenery along the way. The mountain road paralleled a winding river. The river was deep in a gorge, and the roadway was along the top edge of the gorge, varying from 200. It's the kind of thing you see a lot in the States, in the mountain areas, Colorado, Tennessee. Well, we stopped for lunch at a little country store built beside a cable foot bridge built across the gorge. The bridge was part of a hiking trail that meandered through the mountains. It was an excellent stop with beautiful scenery in quiet, peaceful surroundings. The little store didn't have much in the way of recognizable food. All kinds of fresh vegetables. Most I didn't know what they were. Seaweed, nuts, and various dried things. They had some Japanese sweet potatoes roasting over a grill. We got one of the potatoes and a box, yes, a box of potato chips. Sort of like Pringles, but different. Combine this with a Coca-Cola and that was lunch. Anyway, we enjoyed the moment. We walked in the footbridge. It was tied down pretty good, so it didn't swing a lot, but it was bouncy, and Carolyn didn't like it much. But I thought it was great. We were about 300 feet above the road. We arrived at Yamanaka, which borders on Lake Yamanaka, about 2:30 p.m. We stopped at 7-Eleven and got a couple of candy bars while we opened up our luggage to find the map to our pension. This is the word for a Japanese-style bed and breakfast type hotel. We found the place fairly easily and checked in. Turns out the place was going to be fully booked for the weekend, but with the bad weather, everyone canceled, except us. So we had the whole place to ourselves. It is owned by a young Japanese family, Mom, Pop, and 2 boys aged 7 and 9. The man, Nagoa-san, is the only one we ever really saw. He checked us in and gave us the lowdown on how it all works. Dinner at 6:30 p.m., breakfast at 8. I think he wanted it later, but we insisted on early. We were on the second floor overlooking the 3 grass tennis courts. Our small room had 2 single beds and a couch. That's it. The bathrooms were down the hall, one for man and one for woman. Really, the bathroom was only a toilet in a tiny, tiny room. Outside the room was a sink and mirror. You take off your shoes. It's funny about shoes. You know, no one wears shoes in the house. When you enter the front door, there is always a little lobby where you leave your shoes. Most places furnish house slippers to wear in the house. In fact, the host is supposed to furnish house slippers for his guests. We have 4 or 5 pairs of slippers for our guests at our apartment. Ourselves, we just walk around in sock feet. It's much easier. Anyway, when you go to the bathroom, the toilet, you have to change into bedroom slippers, leaving your house slippers outside the bathroom door. When you come out of the bathroom, you leave the bathroom slippers inside and step into your house slippers again. Oh, it's all a lot of trouble, but that's the way it works. The hotel had slippers at the front entry and slippers in the bathroom. So we observed the protocol and made the appropriate switches. Well, I can't believe it's already 10 minutes on this episode. So much to talk about for this trip, but I'll pick it up on the next episode. Please stay tuned and come back to Letters from Japan. I'll leave you with my thought for the day. Observe protocol and find your own personal adventures.